Welcome to the Distance Learning Consortium as we take a few minutes to explore what is SEL for students. My name is Lena Bender, and I'll be presenting to you on behalf of the Orange County Department of Education. This module is the first of 8 in the series. We will cover the basics of what is CASEL and SEL. Then we will take a look at the 5 core SEL competencies for students. To get us grounded in this module, we will first ask that you take a moment and make a goal for yourself. You clicked on this video to find out more. So, identify what are you hoping to walk away with from this module. Now that you've had a moment to think, keep that focus in mind as we move through the presentation. You will also find a joining resource guide to further deepen today's presentation. To introduce SEL, we should probably understand why this is an important topic in California. The CDE's research-based distance learning principles have directly recommended SEL as part of educators' response to the rapid changes in education during distance learning. So let's get some context for discussing social and emotional learning. California has adopted a framework for a multi-tiered system of support, also known as CA-MTSS. In order to build and sustain a robust multi-tiered system of support, this framework identifies 4 supporting domains of administrative leadership, integrated educational framework, family and community engagement, and inclusive policy, structures, and practices. These domains and encompassing features help local education agencies develop, enhance, or refine existing efforts in order to provide all of California's students access to first best instruction and evidence-based supports and interventions. A unique quality of the CA-MTSS framework is that it identifies 3 main features of MTSS: inclusive academic, behavioral, and social and emotional instruction. We recognize that to support the whole child, we must acknowledge the important role SEL plays in growth and learning. If you would like to learn more about CA-MTSS, you will find information in the resource guide. Before unpacking the definition of SEL, let's first get to know CASEL. The Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning was developed in 1994 as a response to positive youth development programs. A convening of researchers, educators, and child advocates focused on a goal of establishing high-quality, evidence-based social and emotional learning as an essential part of the pre-K through 12th grade education. What came from this convening was a framework to address the needs of youth and help align and coordinate school programs. 4 areas of focus from CASEL include research to advance the knowledge base about SEL by synthesizing, conducting, and commissioning research, guiding practice to translate research into action, informing policy to support states in developing pre-K through 12 SEL policies and guidelines, and educate policymakers about the value of SEL, and convening networks to bring together experts, practitioners, and policymakers. Now that we have had an introduction to CASEL, let's unpack how they have defined social and emotional learning. Most simply stated, SEL is the process through which all young people and adults acquire and apply the knowledge, skills, and attitudes to develop healthy identities, manage emotions, and achieve personal and collective goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain supportive relationships, and make responsible and caring decisions. As mentioned, CASEL was first established in 1994. Since that time, through continuous learning from SEL research, practice, and policy, the definition has developed further. 4 key points in the current CASEL definition of SEL include explicit commitment to equity and excellence that emphasizes identity, agency, and belonging, highlighting spaces and places where SEL can be promoted, a need to infuse SEL into curriculum, instruction, out-of-school time, discipline, student support services, and professional learning. And lastly, to reflect the role of ongoing assessment for continuous improvement. So let's look at the benefits of SEL. We know from a large body of research on SEL that high-quality SEL programming leads to improved academic performance, decreases in anxiety, behavioral issues, among other benefits. We also know from research that there are additional insights to be gained that are relevant to SEL. For example, It is a wise financial investment according to cost-benefit research. In a commitment to highlight the potential and urgency of leveraging SEL to promote educational equity and excellence, CASEL not only updated the definition of SEL, but also their framework in October of 2020. CASEL's SEL framework fosters knowledge, skills, and attitudes across 5 areas of competence and multiple key settings to establish equitable learning environments that advance students' learning and development. The CASEL 5 can be taught and applied at various developmental stages from childhood to adulthood and across diverse cultural contexts. Many school districts, states, and countries have used the CASEL 5 to establish preschool to high school learning standards and competencies that articulate what students should know and be able to do for academic success, school and civic engagement, health and wellness, and fulfilling careers. The competencies include self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. These 5 competency clusters are interrelated and many times operate simultaneously. Students develop these competencies through coordinating across their classrooms, schools, homes, and communities, as we see framed in the blue circles. As the wheel was updated, most of the language around the skills also has been updated to reflect more cultural competence than the original wording of almost 26 years ago. Let's start with self-awareness. This includes the abilities to understand one's own emotions, thoughts, and values, and how they influence behavior across contexts. Examples of these skills include integrating personal and social identities, identifying one's emotions, demonstrating honesty and integrity, examining prejudices and biases, and developing interests and a sense of purpose. Self-management include the abilities to manage one's emotions, thoughts, and behaviors effectively in different situations and to achieve goals and aspirations. Skills in this category include managing one's emotions, setting personal and collective goals, showing the courage to take initiative, and demonstrating personal and collective agency. Social awareness include the abilities to understand the perspectives of and empathize with others, including those from diverse backgrounds, cultures, and contexts. For example, taking others' perspectives, or recognizing the strengths in others, also demonstrating empathy and compassion, identifying diverse social norms, including unjust ones, and understanding the influences of organizations and systems on behavior. Relationship skills are the abilities to establish and maintain healthy and supportive relationships and to effectively navigate settings with diverse individuals and groups. Skills in this competency include developing positive relationships, demonstrating cultural competency, resisting negative social pressure, showing leadership in groups, and standing up for the rights of others. Finally, responsible decision-making include the abilities to make caring and constructive choices about personal behavior and social interactions across diverse situations. This includes the capacities to consider ethical standards and safety concerns, and to evaluate the benefits and consequences of various actions for personal, social, and collective well-being. If you, like many other educators, are thinking SEL would be beneficial for your students, we have a tool to share that you could use tomorrow. In the resource guide accompanying this module, you will find this checklist of core competencies of SEL. If you are looking for a place to get started, feel free to use this resource as a way to explore the skills and needs of your students. In order to effectively bring SEL to all students, CASEL has identified that schools must have a systemic approach to implementation that includes organizing through building awareness, commitment, and planning, implementing adult and SEL for students, and improving by reflecting on data. If systemic school-wide SEL is implemented, you will be able to observe 10 indicators. In this module, we introduced foundations for SEL for students. In the next module, we will explore what it means to have adult SEL as part of your implementation. So, after this brief exploration of what is SEL, think back to your learning goal. What is one next step you would like to take to promote SEL in your school or classroom? Thank you for your time, and we will see you in the next module on adult SEL.